Untitled project, most people trying to lose belly fat have been lied to. Flat out. You've been told that if you just less and move more, the fat around your waist will magically melt away. But that's not how the human body works. That advice might work for a calculator, but your body isn't a calculator, it's a chemistry lab. What happens inside that lab depends on hormones, not math. And one hormone in particular, insulin, is the gatekeeper of whether you burn fat or store it. Here's the part nobody tells you. Most people are eating in a way that keeps insulin high all the time. And it has nothing to do with carbs or calories. It's a protein problem. Yep, protein, the very thing you've been told to eat in moderation. The mainstream diet world has people scared of too much protein, while most folks are actually eating too little or the wrong kind altogether. When you don't get enough quality protein, your body can't repair, rebuild, or maintain muscle, and that slows your metabolism to a crawl. Think of it like this. You're trying to burn fat with the engine running on half power. Your body's in storage mode because insulin never drops low enough for true fat burning to kick in. You feel tired, hungry, frustrated, and your belly fat just sits there mocking you. The truth is, this single protein mistake is keeping millions of people stuck, no matter how clean they eat or how many hours they spend on a treadmill. And once you understand what this mistake is and how easy it is to fix, that stubborn belly fat finally starts to melt away. Let's start with one of the biggest lies ever sold in nutrition. The idea that losing belly fat is all about a calorie deficit. Eat less, move more. That's what every so-called expert influencer and government guideline has preached for decades. But if that actually worked, we'd all be lean by now. The truth is, your body isn't a simple math equation. You're not a bank account, you're a living chemistry set. Calories are just units of energy. They don't tell you how your hormones react, how your metabolism adapts, or how your body decides whether to burn fat or store it. Here's what really happens when someone decides to just cut calories. At first, the scale might budge a little, but that's not fat loss. That's water weight and muscle breakdown. When you slash calories but don't fix your protein intake, your body panics. It goes into survival mode, what I call the starvation response. Your metabolism slows down to conserve energy, your thyroid hormones drop, and your body starts burning lean tissue instead of fat. That's why so many people end up skinny fat, smaller but still soft around the middle. Now, think about that. Your body literally starts eating your muscle to protect fat stores. That's not fat burning, that's self-destruction. And once your muscle mass drops, your metabolism tanks even further because muscle is the single biggest driver of your metabolic rate. Less muscle means fewer calories burned even at rest. So now you're tired, weak, and hungrier than before. That's why calorie restriction always backfires. The second you eat normally, again, your slowed metabolism can't handle it, and the belly fat piles right back on, usually worse than before. I've seen this over and over in my clinic. Patients come in saying, "Doc, I've tried every diet. I'm eating 200 calories a day. I'm walking an hour every morning, and I'm still stuck." But when we dig into their food logs, I see it right away. They're barely getting 50 grams of protein a day, and most of it's from low quality sources like cereal, yogurt, and protein bars full of sugar. So we flip the script. Instead of cutting calories, I have them increase protein, real protein from eggs, beef, chicken, fish. Within weeks, their hunger drops, energy rises, and that belly fat finally starts to shrink. Why? Because protein changes the hormonal chemistry. When you eat adequate protein, it signals to your body that you're nourished, not starving. Insulin drops, glucagon rises, and now your body can actually unlock stored fat for fuel. I call this the protein-fed fat burning response. Instead of slowing metabolism, then your body revs it up. Your liver starts converting fat into ketones. Your muscle stays preserved. and your hunger hormones like ghrelin quiet down. You feel satisfied, energized, and you start burning belly fat naturally, not through punishment, but through proper nourishment. Let me give you a real world example. One of my patients, let's call her Sarah, came in frustrated after 6 months of calorie cut. She was living on salads and light meals, clocking in around 1,000 calories a day. She'd lost maybe 3 pounds, but her waist size hadn't changed an inch. She was exhausted, freezing all the time, and craving carbs nonstop. I told her the problem wasn't calories. It was chemistry. We bumped her protein intake to 120 grams a day, kept her carbs low, and stopped worrying about calorie numbers entirely. 3 weeks later, she'd lost 5 inches off her waist, had more energy than she'd had in years, and wasn't hungry all day. That's not magic, that's metabolic science. This is why counting calories is outdated nonsense. Your metabolism isn't static, it adapts to your inputs. If you eat too little, it slows down to protect you. But if you feed it the right fuel, especially high quality protein, it speeds up, repairs tissue, and burns fat efficiently. You can't trick your body with starvation, you have to work with its biochemistry. So remember this, it's not about eating less, it's about eating right. Here's the cold, hard truth. The number one protein mistake keeping millions of people fat is this: you're eating too little protein, and when you do eat it, you're getting it from the wrong sources. Most folks think they're eating plenty of protein because they toss some peanut butter on toast, add a scoop of plant powder to a smoothie, or grab a high protein cereal that says 10 grams on the box. But that's not real protein, that's marketing. Your body doesn't care what the label says, it cares what amino acids it actually gets. And most of these foods are missing the essential building blocks your metabolism needs to function properly. When you don't eat enough complete, high quality protein, the kind found in eggs, beef, fish, and poultry, your body literally can't do its job. You're starving your metabolism while feeding your fat cells. Because here's what happens without enough amino acids. Your body senses a lack of resources. That triggers stress hormones and keeps insulin elevated, even if you're eating low calorie or clean. High insulin locks fat inside your fat cells. It's like trying to burn wood with the fireplace door closed. The energy's there, but your body can't access it. So instead of burning stored fat for fuel, your body starts breaking down muscle to survive. Muscle loss means your metabolism slows even further, which means fewer calories burned and more fat stored. It's a vicious cycle that no amount of treadmill time can fix. This is why you can do everything right, skip desserts, track calories, eat salads, and still gain belly fat. The problem isn't effort, it's biology. Think of protein as the switch that tells your body what to do with energy. When you give it enough high quality protein, it says, we're safe, we're fed, we can burn fat. But when you give it too little or the wrong kind, your body says, we're in danger. Store everything. It's survival mode versus thrive mode. Now let's talk about those healthy protein imposters. Plant-based shakes, processed bars, cereal, yogurt, even oat milk. These are loaded with carbs and fillers that spike insulin. They trick your body into thinking food is coming, but the actual amino acids never arrive. You're feeding blood sugar swings, not muscle repair. You're giving your fat cells permission to grow while your metabolism sputters. I've seen it countless times. People eating balanced plant protein meals and wondering why they're always hungry and tired. That's because their bodies are desperate for leucine, methionine, and lysine, the key amino acids only found in abundance in animal protein. You cannot outsmart human physiology. Your ancestors didn't survive on smoothies and cereal. They survived on meat, eggs, and fish. That's what your DNA expects. And when you go against it, your hormones rebel. Insulin stays elevated, glucagon stays suppressed, and your body refuses to burn fat no matter how healthy your meals look on Instagram. I had a patient once who came to me saying, "Docs, I eat protein every day." I asked what kind. She said, "Oatmeal with almond butter for breakfast, lentils for lunch, a smoothie for dinner." I told her straight, "That's not protein, that's carbohydrates with a sprinkle of amino acids." We swapped her meals for real protein: eggs for breakfast, chicken for lunch, salmon for dinner, and within 2 weeks, her cravings vanished. Her belly shrunk and her energy skyrocketed. Nothing magical happened. She just stopped starving her metabolism. You've got to understand this. Protein isn't just another macronutrient. It's the foundation of your metabolism. Every enzyme, every hormone, every repair process in your body depends on it. When you skimp on protein, everything slows down. Your thyroid, your energy, your fat burning. You might be eating healthy, but you're doing it in a way that chemically tells your body to store fat instead of burn it. Fixing this one mistake, eating too little or relying on poor quality sources, flips the entire system back on. When you start fueling with complete, high quality protein, insulin finally drops, glucagon rises, and your body regains access to stored fat. It's like taking the padlock off your fat stores. Your energy goes up, your cravings fade, and your belly fat finally starts to move in the right direction off your body and out of your life. Let's talk about the real reason protein is so powerful for burning belly fat. It controls your fat hormones. And there are 3 key ones you need to know about: insulin, ghrelin, and leptin. These 3 hormones are the switchboard operators of your metabolism. They decide when you burn fat, when you store fat, and when you get hungry. Most people's switches are stuck in the wrong position, not because they're lazy or weak, but because their protein intake is too low and their meals are built wrong from the start. First up, insulin, the fat storage hormone. When insulin is high, fat burning is off, period. Insulin's job is to take sugar from your blood and push it into your cells for energy or storage. That's useful when you're eating whole foods occasionally, but modern diets keep insulin up all day long. The problem is, protein plays a key role in calming insulin down. When you eat enough high-quality protein, your blood sugar stabilizes, and your pancreas doesn't have to flood your body with insulin. But when your meal is low in protein and high in carbs, like cereal, toast, or a smoothie, your insulin spikes, stays high, and your body never gets the signal to start burning fat. You stay in storage mode all day long. Now let's move to ghrelin, the hunger hormone. Ghrelin tells your brain when it's time to eat. The higher your ghrelin, the hungrier you feel. Low protein meals make ghrelin skyrocket. That's why if you eat a bagel or oatmeal for breakfast, you're starving by 10 a.m., even though you just ate. It's not willpower, it's hormones rebelling. Protein, on the other hand, shuts ghrelin down. When you eat a meal rich in complete protein, say eggs and sausage, your ghrelin levels drop, and your brain actually registers that you've eaten. That's why a protein-rich breakfast keeps you satisfied for hours, while a carb-heavy one leaves you prowling the break room for snacks before lunch. Then there's leptin, the fullness hormone. Leptin tells your brain, we've got enough energy stored. You can stop eating. But when you eat low protein and high carbs for long periods, your body becomes resistant to leptin signal. Your brain never gets the message that you're full, so you keep eating. That's leptin resistance. Your fat cells are screaming, we're full, but your brain thinks you're starving. It's like a broken thermostat that can't detect the temperature anymore. Protein repairs this system by improving leptin sensitivity. Once you start eating enough protein, your brain starts listening again, and your appetite finally comes under control naturally. Now let's compare what happens hormonally after 2 different breakfasts. Imagine 2 people. One eats a big bowl of cereal with fruit and orange juice. The other eats 3 eggs, a couple slices of bacon, and black coffee. The cereal eater's insulin spikes immediately from all that sugar. Within 2 hours, blood sugar crashes, Ghrelin surges, and they're craving a muffin or an energy bar, insulin is still elevated, blocking fat burning, and leptin signals get scrambled, so they feel hungry even though they've eaten plenty of calories. That mid-morning crash and snack craving, that's not lack of discipline, that's hormonal chaos. Now look at the high-protein breakfast. Insulin barely moves, ghrelin stays low, and leptin signals work perfectly. The person feels satisfied for hours, energy stays steady, and the body quietly starts tapping into stored fat for fuel. Same number of calories, maybe totally different hormonal outcome. One body's storing fat, the other's burning it. And the difference isn't exercise or genetics, it's protein. When insulin is balanced, your body can finally unlock fat. When ghrelin is low, your hunger is under control. When leptin sensitivity returns, your appetite works like it's supposed to. Protein is the master key to all three of these fat hormones. You can't medicate your way to balance here, and you can't willpower your way out of cravings. You fix it by feeding your body what it actually needs, adequate, complete protein. Once you do that, the switch flips, insulin calms down, ghrelin quiets, leptin wakes up, and your body stops fighting you. Hunger fades, cravings disappear, and fat loss finally becomes effortless again. Getting enough protein resets these fat hormones naturally and turns your metabolism back into the fat burning machine it was designed to be. Your muscle is the most important fat burning tool you have. It's not just for looking toned or strong. It's your body's built-in fat burning engine. And protein is the fuel that keeps that engine running. The more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism, and the more calories you burn all day long, even when you're sitting on the couch doing nothing. But when you eat too little protein, you slowly start dismantling that engine piece by piece. Losing muscle is like throwing away the very furnace that burns your fat. Most people who struggle with belly fat don't realize they've been underfeeding their muscle for years. Every time you skip protein or choose low protein meals like cereal, smoothies, or snacks, your body looks for amino acids somewhere else, and it ends up taking them from your muscle tissue. That's your body's emergency backup plan, but it's costly, because once that muscle is gone, your metabolism slows, your calorie burn drops, and fat loss grinds to a halt. You're left feeling tired, cold, and frustrated because your body isn't broken. It's just running on half power. Now think about it this way. Your metabolism is like a furnace in your home. Muscle is the fire, and protein is the wood you throw in to keep it burning. If you stop adding wood, the fire doesn't get stronger, it dies out. When you eat too little protein, you're basically starving your metabolism while feeding your fat stores. Your body says, we're in famine mode, and holds on to every ounce of fat it can. That's why people who yo-yo diet, cut calories, or eat light meals end up softer and heavier over time. They're burning through their muscle instead of their fat. I've seen this firsthand with hundreds of patients. One woman in her 50s came to me eating 1,000 calories a day trying to lose her belly. She was doing cardio 5 times a week and couldn't understand why her waistline wasn't shrinking. When I checked her food log, she was barely getting 40 grams of protein a day. That's less than half of what her body needed just to maintain her muscle. I told her straight, you're not fat because you're eating too much. You're fat because your metabolism has shut down from too little protein. We increased her protein to 120 grams a day, real protein from eggs, beef, and fish, and within 6 weeks her energy shot up. Her cravings disappeared, and her belly fat started melting without any extra exercise. She literally reignited her metabolic fire by feeding her muscle again. Another patient, a middle-aged man who thought he was too old to lose fat, came in with the same problem. He'd been skipping breakfast, eating salads for lunch, and a small dinner because he thought eating less would speed up fat loss. His metabolism was crawling. I told him, you're starving your furnace. We bumped up his protein and got him lifting light weights just twice a week. In a month, he'd lost 8 pounds of fat and gained visible muscle. His metabolism was back online because his body finally had fuel to rebuild, not just survive. This is what most people get wrong. They think fat loss is about deprivation. It's not. It's about nourishment. Your muscle tissue is your greatest ally in burning fat, and protein is what keeps it alive and thriving. When you eat enough protein, your body preserves lean mass, boosts thermogenesis, and burns more fat even when you're asleep. That's why high protein eaters can lose fat without constantly counting calories or suffering through endless cardio sessions. Their metabolism does the work for them. Every gram of muscle on your body is a calorie burning machine, and protein is the maintenance plan that keeps those machines running. If you don't protect your muscle, you lose the very system that burns fat. But if you feed it properly, your metabolism accelerates effortlessly, hunger stays under control, and your body starts burning fat like it's supposed to. Protecting your muscle with protein is the fastest, smartest, and most sustainable way to melt belly fat without feeling deprived or exhausted. Most people don't realize that muscle isn't just about strength or looks. It's the body's main fat burning engine. The more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism runs, and the easier it is to stay lean. Every pound of muscle is like a tiny furnace that constantly burns fuel, even while you're sitting sleeping or working at your desk. And the fuel that keeps those furnaces alive and burning is protein. Without enough protein, those furnaces start shutting down one by one, and when that happens, fat loss becomes nearly impossible. Eating too little protein is like trying to drive across the country with no gas in the tank. Your metabolism slows down, your body starts conserving energy, and instead of burning fat, it clings to it like a survival mechanism. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It's expensive for your body to maintain. So when your body senses a shortage of protein, it starts breaking down muscle first to preserve energy. That's the exact opposite of what you want if you're trying to lose belly fat. Losing muscle is like throwing away the very furnace that burns your fat. Most people are walking around protein deficient and don't even know it. They're eating salads, fruit bowls, toast or cereal, and wondering why they're always tired, hungry, and stuck. They think they're doing the healthy thing, but what they're really doing is starving their metabolism. Their body's trying to keep them alive, not lean. When muscle starts disappearing, your resting metabolic rate plummets. That means your body burns fewer calories every hour, even if you're active. It's like switching your metabolism from a roaring campfire to a flickering candle, slow, weak, and barely giving off any heat. I've seen this pattern in countless patients. One woman came to me eating 200 calories a day, walking daily, and still couldn't lose her belly fat. She was frustrated, convinced her metabolism was broken. But when we looked closer, she was getting maybe 50 grams of protein a day, nowhere near enough to sustain her muscle. Her body was cannibalizing its own tissue for fuel. I told her flat out, "You're not overeating, you're under-proteined." We bumped her intake up to 120 grams of protein daily, mainly from eggs, beef, chicken, and fish. Within a month, her energy returned, her cravings dropped, and her belly fat finally started to move. She didn't need a new diet. She needed to feed her metabolism again. Another patient, a middle-aged man who'd been cutting calories and doing endless cardio, was stuck in the same trap. He said, "Doc, I'm doing everything right. Why isn't the fat going anywhere?" I asked what he was eating. His breakfast was a banana and coffee. Lunch was a salad with low-fat dressing. Dinner was soup and crackers. Maybe 40 grams of protein a day. His metabolism had crashed. I told him to double his protein, eat real food, and stop being afraid of eating enough. We added steak, eggs, and salmon back into his meals. Within 6 weeks, his muscle mass increased, his waist shrunk, and he felt like his body had finally turned back on. His metabolism wasn't broken, it was underfeed. Protein doesn't just build muscle, it preserves it. Every gram of protein you eat tells your body, we have what we need. Keep the engine running. That message keeps your metabolism humming, your hormones balanced, and your fat burning steady. On the flip side, skipping protein sends the message, we're in a famine, shut it down. That's when your thyroid slows, your energy drops, and fat loss halts. You can eat fewer calories, but your body just adapts by burning less. That's why calorie restriction without proper protein always fails long term. Imagine your body as a campfire. The logs are your muscle, and protein is the firewood you keep adding to maintain the flame. If you stop adding wood, the fire burns out. That's exactly what happens when you eat protein. You lose the very tissue that keeps your fat burning flame alive. Once that fire's out, no amount of cardio or calorie cutting can reignite it. But if you feed it properly, if you give your body real protein from meat, eggs, and fish, the fire roars back to life and belly fat finally starts burning again. This is why high protein diets consistently outperform low calorie diets in every study that looks at body composition. Protein protects your muscle, raises thermogenesis, and improves satiety, meaning you burn more and crave less. It's the only macronutrient that builds your metabolism instead of breaking it down. Fat loss becomes easier not because you're starving yourself, but because your body's working efficiently again. When you eat the right amount of protein, you're not just feeding your muscles, you're preserving your metabolic engine. Every meal becomes a signal to your body, keep the furnace burning, keep the metabolism high, and keep fat off. The fastest way to accelerate fat loss effortlessly isn't through more restriction or more exercise. It's by protecting your muscle with protein and letting your body do what it was designed to do. Burn fat naturally and efficiently. If you want to burn fat efficiently, what you eat matters. But when you eat, it matters just as much. Most people don't realize that protein timing can make or break your fat burning potential. The single most powerful change you can make to fire up your metabolism is simple. Front load your protein early in the day. This one habit can turn your body into a fat burning machine before noon. Let's start with how your body wakes up after sleeping or fasting overnight. Your insulin should be nice and low, your body ready to tap into stored fat for energy. But what you eat first decides what happens next. Most people start their day by slamming the brakes on fat burning. They reach for cereal, toast, oatmeal, fruit juice, or a coffee loaded with sugar. That carb-heavy breakfast spikes insulin sky high, shuts down fat burning instantly, and sets off a hormonal roller coaster that lasts all day. Your blood sugar soars, then crashes mid-morning, ghrelin shoots up, and suddenly you're starving again, searching for a snack. That's not weak willpower. That's your chemistry rebelling. Now, compare that to someone who eats a high protein breakfast, eggs, sausage, bacon, or a protein shake made from real food. Insulin rises gently and stabilizes. Leptin signals kick in, and you actually feel full. Your energy stays steady, your brain stays clear, and your cravings vanish. You've just told your body, we're nourished, not starving, and that keeps your metabolism humming all day long. Protein is the most thermogenic macronutrient, meaning your body burns more calories digesting it than it does from carbs or fat. When you start your day with protein, you light your metabolic fire and keep it burning for hours. I've seen this transformation so many times it's almost predictable. A patient walks in complaining, "Doc, I can't stop craving sweets. I eat healthy, but I'm hungry all day." I ask what they eat for breakfast. They usually say something like a banana and coffee or oatmeal with almond milk. That's not breakfast. That's dessert. I have them flip it completely. I tell them eat at least 30 to 40 grams of protein in your first meal. Egg, steak, cottage cheese, whatever fits your taste, and do it within the first hour of waking or right after your fasting window ends. Within a week, the difference is night and day. They're full until lunch, their sugar cravings disappear, and that stubborn belly fat finally starts to shift. They didn't change their workouts or count calories. They just started their day right. Your metabolism listens closely to your first meal. Think of it as your body's morning meeting. If you start the day with carbs, your body hears, store fat, keep insulin high, stay hungry. If you start with protein, it hears, burn fat, stabilize hormones, stay satisfied. It's that simple. Studies show that people who eat a high protein breakfast consume fewer total calories for the rest of the day without even trying. That's because protein controls ghrelin and leptin naturally. Your hunger switches off when your body gets what it needs. Here's a visual. Imagine two identical people, same age, same body weight, same routine. One starts the day with a protein-rich meal, the other with a bowl of cereal and fruit juice. By mid-morning, the cereal eater is already hungry, insulin's still high, fat burning is off, and their energy is crashing. The protein first eater is calm, focused, and burning stored fat steadily. Fast forward 12 hours, one's still chasing snacks, the other hasn't even thought about food. That's the difference protein timing makes. And it's not just about energy, it's about muscle preservation too. When you eat protein early, you give your body amino acids when it needs them most. Overnight, your body is in a mild catabolic state, meaning it's been breaking down tissue for energy. Starting your day with protein flips that switch back to anabolic, telling your body to repair, rebuild, and protect muscle instead of burning it. More muscle means higher metabolism, and higher metabolism means more fat burning. I tell my patients all the time, if you do nothing else, do this. Make protein your first meal of the day. Whether you practice intermittent fasting or eat breakfast traditionally, your first bite should be protein. It stabilizes blood sugar, reduces hunger hormones, and keeps your fat burning machinery switched on all day. It's not about eating less, it's about eating right and eating it at the right time. Once you make this shift, your body starts working with you, not against you. You stop fighting hunger, your energy stays stable, and fat burning becomes automatic. Front load your protein early, and you'll stay full, focused, and fat adapted all day long. Start your day with protein, and your body will start melting fat naturally. I've seen it happen so many times it's almost predictable. People come into my office frustrated, exhausted, and convinced their body is broken. They've counted calories, starved themselves, done endless cardio, and still can't lose the belly fat. Then we fix one thing, their protein, and everything changes. Real people, real results, no gimmicks. Take Lisa, 47 years old, mother of 3. She'd been stuck at the same weight for years, despite eating healthy. Her mornings started with oatmeal and fruit. Her lunches were salads, and dinners were usually light. She was hungry all the time, exhausted by mid-afternoon, and her belly fat never budged. I told her the truth. She wasn't overeating, she was under protein. We bumped her intake to 120 grams of protein daily, starting with eggs and sausage for breakfast. Within 2 weeks, she messaged me saying, "Doc, I'm not hungry anymore." Within a month, she'd lost 5 inches from her waist, wasn't snacking. "This is the first time in years I feel in control." She didn't cut calories. She just started feeding her metabolism right. Then there's Mark, 52, a desk worker who thought his metabolism had slowed down with age. He'd been eating 200 calories a day, skipping breakfast, and running every evening trying to force the fat off. But his body was in starvation mode. His muscle was wasting, his metabolism had tanked, and his energy was shot. I told him to stop under eating and start fueling. 40 grams of protein at breakfast, another 40 at lunch, and the rest at dinner. Within 4 weeks, he'd lost 10 pounds of fat, not muscle. His energy came roaring back, and he said, "Doc, I feel 20 years younger. All we did was fix his protein mistake and get his body out of famine mode." Maria, 39, had tried every diet: keto, low fat, vegan, even juice cleanses. Every single one left her hungry and tired. When I asked what her protein looked like, she said, "I don't really focus on it. I just try to eat clean." That was her problem. We focused her meals around protein, eggs, beef, fish, and chicken, and told her to eat until she was satisfied. She thought she'd gain weight, but instead, she started burning fat effortlessly. Her cravings disappeared within days, her mood stabilized, and she finally started sleeping better. In her words, "I'm eating more food, but I'm losing weight faster than ever." That's not magic. That's metabolism working like it should. Even older patients who thought, "It's just my age," saw dramatic changes. One retired man told me he'd given up hope of ever losing his belly. We set a simple goal: protein first every meal, minimum 100 grams a day. No calorie counting, no restriction, no starvation. A month later, he came back grinning, down 2 pant sizes, more energy, and said, "I can't believe I've been starving myself for years when all I needed was more protein." What's amazing is that none of these people were doing extreme diets. They didn't eat less, they ate better. They stopped starving their metabolism and started fueling it. They flipped their body's chemistry from storage mode to fat burning mode by giving it the protein it had been missing for years. They stopped fighting their biology and started working with it. Here's the simple truth: you don't fix your body by eating less, you fix it by feeding it right. Your metabolism isn't slow, it's under. Your cravings aren't lack of willpower, they're your body begging for nutrients. And belly fat isn't stubborn, it's simply the result of hormones that never get reset because protein intake is too low. The solution is not deprivation, it's nourishment. So here's my challenge to you for the next 30 days. Go protein first, every meal, every day. Make protein the centerpiece. Real protein from eggs, meat, fish, and dairy. Eat until you're full, don't count calories, and watch what happens. You'll see your cravings fade, your energy rise, your focus sharpen, and that belly fat start to melt away naturally. This isn't a quick fix, it's a biological reset. Your body was designed to thrive on real food, not struggle on starvation. When you feed it what it's been missing, it rewards you. So for the next 30 days, commit to fueling your metabolism the way nature intended. Don't eat less, eat right. Don't fear food, fix it. Go protein first, and watch your body transform from the inside out. This isn't diet magic, it's human biology done right.